Dear friends, welcome to Think BRICS. With India set to take the BRICS chairmanship next year and against the backdrop of President Putin's recent high profile visit to Delhi, we are sitting down with Rishabh Sethi, an expert analyst from the Indian Center for Promotion of International Initiatives and BRICS to decode India's strategic thinking.
Hello,
Rishabh,
same to everybody. Namaste and good
we
morning.
are very glad to see you. Welcome to Think BRICS. Welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much, Miss Anastasia, and to your channel Think Bricks for your invitation, for inviting me to share my thoughts and views about some important events that are presently going on and about the future projects and new upcoming events. So yes, I'm ready to answer your questions. So and for all your viewers on Think Bricks, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's start with the recent visit of Vladimir Putin to India. Well, pictures of Putin and Modi's friendly hugs were spread all over the international media outlets. Let's discuss the results of that visit, if you don't mind. For decades, the India-Russia pillar was defense. With now with India diversifying its arms supplier and Russia's pivot to east, the partnership is now heavily anchored to energy trade. What do you see as the next foundation pillar, in your opinion? Is it logistics, maybe, I don't know, payment systems, critical minerals, or, I don't know, joint technological development projects in Arctic, maybe?
Yeah.
What can you say?
Thank you so much. Anastasia, when we talk about Russia and India in terms of international relations or global context, I want to stress upon, first of all, Russia-India relationship, everybody knows it's very old. Because when India got independence from the British colonization, that time SSSR was like the first country for us and to develop strong relationship and cooperation and friendship with our country, and officially also because the first diplomatic relation also started with SSSR during that period of time. And during this very difficult and tough period, with the together support of SSSR and Russia, we got a lot of new developments in the country. For example, as Honorable President Putin has also shared during the meeting with the medias that Kandakulam nuclear power plant. This is like one of the symbol which is still working till now, which was starting during that period of time. And there were some other support and initiative was like that the opening of the first uh, like Indian Institute of Technology. It's like a technical university based in Mumbai also, and then one of the steel plant also. So this was like the initial phase, beginning of our friendship. But many of the people doesn't know about the historical relation and friendship of our country, because I want to stress upon this especially, that our relationship and friendship was starting in the year 15th century. Why? Because there is a city near Moscow called as Tver, and during the Russian Empire, Tver was the capital of Russian Empire before Moscow. If we read the history, and from this city there was a person named Afanasy Nikitin, who first he was the first European and the first Russian person who traveled and explored India in 15th century. And that person started the or I would say opened the gates of cooperation between Russia and India in terms of cultural cooperation and trade business cooperation. Because India was always very much popular for their natural resources. When we are talking about natural resources, it means Indian spices, textiles, rice, these things. So that period of time, they thought about importing this from India to Russia, and this was the reason that he traveled to India and also get connected with the Indian culture, in reality in Indian culture, what is all about. And the last year also we celebrated the 550-year anniversary of this person come back to Russia like this. So this is how I would say that our relationship is from the period of 15th century, not from the last 78 or 79 years after independence. This is one important thing. Second thing, India and Russia have showcased to the whole world what the true friendship is all about, what the real cooperation, business cooperation, economic cooperation is all about. When we raise a question about trusting each other, so India and Russia, I would say, is one example for the world when we trust each other like with a blind eyes, because we respect each other very much, and we always stand with each other like brothers for each other in difficult period of time. And when you stress upon this India Russia annual summit, we just held around 2 weeks ago, I would say, when President Putin visited to Delhi on the invitation of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, it has showcased to the whole world again that India and Russia are having a very strong relationship with each other. And this year, as it was a 23rd summit, that period of time during the visit of the Mr. President Vladimir Putin to Delhi, it was like a center of attraction for the whole world, and all the countries were like seeing all the time the news what is happening in India in Delhi. Why? Because there were so many important and strategic initiative was like made, and cooperation was done between our countries once again. And when we talk about cooperation between India and Russia, there are so many different spheres where cooperation can be made or already has been made, I would say. Because already we saw more than 16 agreements, MOUs were signed, which was showcased openly where in all the medias and all. And of course, defense sector is one part because it's a historical sphere of cooperation between Russia and India. Second is energy also. It's also, I would say, it's a historical thing between India and Russia. Then one more important sphere is, like we will say, in the sphere of cosmo, like in space technology. Because during the time of Soviet Union also, when the Indian astronaut Rakesh Sharma visited together with Yuri Gagarin together in space, and that was a period of time when our cooperation started in this sphere also. And till now, I see that there is also strong cooperation going on this in this sphere. But I think so for the young people, more active collaboration and cooperation is required between both the countries, because this will give chance for the Indian youth to get more exposure and knowledge in sphere of space technology, because Russia has, I think, a lot to offer, and they have a very strong technology in this sphere. Then one more important sphere in the sphere of medical technology, pharmacy. And this also we have seen during the press conference. Honorable President Putin has said that there is a new cooperation between the Kaluga region of Russia and India. So, according to his word, I also had some like a discussion with our colleague from Kaluga, and get to know that the Indian company together with the Russian Kaluga region company will make a joint manufacturing base in this region. And it is a great initiative, great step, because this will give much more exposure to the Indian people also, and they will get to know about Kaluga region, because Russia is the biggest country in the world in terms of land area, territory, and have a lot to offer for the people of India. Okay. Then other spheres of cooperation in terms of financial, it's a very important. I want to stress upon why financial, because from last 2 3 or 4 years, when all these issues were starting of sanctions and geopolitical issues, so there were a lot of sanction on Russia. Because of that, everybody knows that Visa, Mastercard cannot be used anywhere from other countries in Russia, and the Russian cards cannot be used in other countries. So as Russia have their Mir card, similarly India, we have our Rupee card. So it's an Indian card, I would say. So we are still waiting when this cooperation will actually get finalized.
Mhm.
Second financial way is Russian special system, digital payment system, SBPay. And same India has UPI payment system. So we are also waiting for this cooperation when it will happen, because when this cooperation will happen, it will give much more strong and financial economical support to both the countries also.
Thank you. It's a very, I don't know, vast sphere of I don't know, cooperation between our countries. Kaluga region, you mentioned that. Yes, I know about this joint venture to build a pharmacy
Yes,
park,
manufacturing. Yes.
manufacturing. Yeah, to invite Indian specialists also, and to produce, to have a production site in Russia. Well, Kaluga region. I don't think our viewers know much about this. It's not very far from the central part of Russia, from Moscow mainly. Well, thank you for your overview, but I would like to tell the following. I noticed my personal view that our leaders this time, among all that cooperation projects and so on, decided to bet on people to people relations mainly. I saw it this way. And one of very important steps in this direction is opening RT India.
Yeah.
In your opinion, in our modern world and modern era of internet, and like they say, information is spreading so fast, is it important to have Russian media outlet in the country?
Uh, you know, uh, I want to stress when we are talking about cooperation and relationship, not only Russia or India or maybe any country in general, I would say humanitarian cooperation or humanitarian sphere plays a very important role. Why? Because we call it cultural diplomacy, people to people dialogue, or we call it another way like a soft power. And
Mhm.
under this direction there are so many different sphere and so many more opportunities especially to connect the real citizens of the both the countries. In this sphere we have less barriers because so many things what our government is doing between the countries, it's of course it's under a closed door, it's not open to all. But when we talk about people to people dialogue, it is the most important platform where people from different sectors, maybe businessmen, maybe governmental people, maybe young people who are working business startups or maybe education sphere, tourism, etc., they all can interact between each other between the countries and develop and can develop more much more strong cooperation between each other. And as you said, one of the great initiative which was recently made about opening the Russia Today India representative office, I would say it is a great initiative and it is a very, very great step. And I was already stressing upon the issue of information because, as we all are living in 21st century, and 21st century is it is an era of digitalization, and it's correct that the information is spreading very fast in every few second and every few minute. But the biggest problem is that right now in the world there are so many different type of wars, and one of the big war is also, I would say, information war. Why? Because people are battling with the fake news, not correct news. I would say people are not getting correct right information. And to pass this right information, it is very important for the media, news channel, or maybe other channels which need to develop strong cooperation, strong platform where they can pass the real information, correct information, so people get to know what is all happening around the world, in particularly in those countries. This initiative of RT India definitely will give much more opportunities to the citizen of India, also vice versa to the citizen of Russia, to get to know much more deeper about India and Russia, and also about the much more opportunities, prospects, what is happening between the countries. And through this platform, also it is easy to pass on the cultural part of our countries.
Yeah,
Because, for example, in Russia, the citizen of Russia only know India maybe about Bollywood, old Soviet time, maybe Zita Gita or Jimmy Jimmy like this. But India is not all about that. If you see, India is now one of the fastest growing economies in the world, which is famous for its information technology, for
yeah,
its cultural diversity, its history and culture. Similarly, Russia, the biggest country in the world, having its rich history, culture, and traditions. So, such platforms will give definitely much more broader chance for the people, citizens, to get to know each other. And I wish the RT has opened their office. Same time, I really wish that Russian organizations try to make collaboration and cooperation with the Indian journalist universities, youth organization, which will help them to make much more interaction with them.
direction. Yes, I totally agree. Thank you. And if we continue people to people cooperation relations, another step that is facilitating people to people relations, both governments have created working groups to work on mutual visa policies. Skeptics say it won't help much, that if Russia abolishes the visas for Indians to come, and India will say Russians may come without visa. Skeptics say it won't help much. We do not have so much traffic in tourism. But what do you think about this initiative of visa-free entry?
Anastasia, I want to stress here there are two, three things that are interrelated or interconnected with each other to develop tourism. First of all, the initiative of abolishing visa definitely will give a boost to tourism between both the countries. I'll tell you how and why. First of all, India is the biggest country in the world in terms of population, and also India is the biggest country in the world in terms of youth population. And the tourism prospects, I mean the outbound tourism from India to other countries, always very high, because Indian people, they love to travel, they love to spend monies for vacations and traveling. Second thing, the biggest issue is that information barrier. So the main thing, like as we discussed about opening the office of Russia today India, I want to stress upon here that the biggest issue is information barrier, that between our countries people don't get a lot of information about what is happening in both the countries, or what prospects are having or opportunities are having in these countries. In India, we have main 4 or 5 megapolis cities. Okay, so there they can get maybe information through the Russian Cultural Center offices or maybe some other platforms. But India is not about only these 4 or 5 megapolises cities. Indian population is the biggest user of social media in the world. When we are talk about maybe Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like these. I know these are like banned in Russia, but in India it's all working, and Indian population is the biggest user. And uh, as this is a digitalization era, so in India everything works maximum through the online advertising, online marketing, and it is very cheaper also, and it is easier to connect much more bigger audiences from those ways. So previously also, when I participated in some BRICS tourism summit or other tourism summit, I stress upon this point: try to make advertisements of tourism in Russia through online digital platform. This will be easy for you to connect with a bigger Indian audience, rather than they spend money and participate in exhibition. It will not give a bigger outcome. Second thing, Indians, a lot of people don't know Indian and Russian currency is almost same when we talk about the currency exchange. Indian people, when they travel to Europe, maybe they spend bigger amount of money to see Northern Light, for example. And at the same time, when I share this example that you come to Russia, welcome to Russia, and you can see the same beautiful Northern Lights in the northern region of Russia, and the Russian hospitality, but at the same time you spend around 50% less money than you are traveling to Europe, because our currency is same almost. So again, it's an information barrier, but when we'll have such information, tourism definitely will increase between India and Russia. Similarly, between Russian people will travel to India. Also, one more point which is interconnected, interrelated, is a, I said, financial payment system. When Russian card will start to work in India, Indian card will start to work in Russia, or the digital payment system will start to work, it will give a big, huge boost for the tourists, and also for the students who are traveling and studying in Russia, Indian students, or tourist people who are traveling from Russia to India, vice versa from India to Russia also.
Yeah, about that connection of payment systems, there were also information in the during the press conference, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a final, I don't know, link in the long chain of cooperation between our countries, and of course, it would facilitate traveling, work, business opportunities, students exchange, and so on. But and if I remember well, last year, Russian Mir payment
Mhm.
system is already connected to Iranian payment
Yes.
system. So
Mhm.
Iranian tourist or student coming to Moscow to Russia in general may go to ATM, insert his bank card, and take rubles without all that exchange forms in bank. So I think the next step it will be in India also. But do you expect, honestly, this to come soon, or are there any significant, I don't know, obstacles? When I say obstacles, I am not talking about technical obstacles,
Mhm.
about political will. Do you think our countries are ready for that?
We are already listening this in news from last more than around, I would say, 2 years about our cooperation in the financial payment system. But actually, we are not the decision takers. But we always hope for the best, and we request that this should happen, because a lot of our friends from Russia, or maybe relatives or friends from India, they travel to both the countries, or they want, or for example, we are doing so many projects, so people also, young people, travel between the countries. So if such financial cooperation of payment system will actually and practically will start, definitely it will give a boost. uh, I want to stress, as you said about Russian Mir card is working in with Iran. I want to say, like, India, we have digital payment system. I said UPI, just scan a QR code and you can make a payment from your Indian bank account. And
Mhm.
it is already working in Arab Emirates countries, in some European countries, in some African countries also. It has already started from last maybe a year or two. All this cooperation between in this sphere also, but we are hoping to start in Russia also, because for us, for Russia and India, this cooperation will not be expensive for the people by doing payment with such method, because our currency part is almost the same. This is a very great thing. Second thing, Sberbank, as or maybe some of the Russian bank or VTB bank, they have already started transferring from their from Russia to India money. So if for example, I am living in Russia and I want to send money, Indian rupees, to my parents or maybe to somebody in India. So through the application, I can just open and send the rupees. It's very easy, and during the working period hours, I can get this in maybe 5 or 10 minutes. It's very fast. But contrary, people from India, they ask me if they want to send from India to Russia, they cannot do it, because again, so here it was an initiative of Russian bank, and there was not till now no initiative from the Indian bank side also. So I
It's in a
really,
legislation bottleneck.
yes, yes, exactly. So there should be like a mutual and active cooperation in this sphere also, and it's really needed, because it will give boost. You see, this thing is connected to so many multiple things, to tourism, to education, to business, startups, so many other sectors, other things. So we hope for the best for that.
We hope it will happen soon. One more question I would like to see your take on. During again during that visit, delegations discussed the question about labor exchange.
Mhm.
I should say, and I think you know it, also in the Russian segment of internet, that was a wave of discussions when we heard about an idea to
Mhm.
bring about 1 million of Indian workers to Russia. Because the Russian government still continues that narrative that Russian economy needs foreign labor forces. So 1 million Indian workers. Being an Indian who who based in Russia, from your personal perspective, is this idea realizable? I mean,
Yeah,
taking into account all that many differences between our culture, I don't know, educational, religious. So,
yeah, differences. I agree with you. First of all, if you saw between Russia and India, they have signed, first of all, the special economic partnership agreement till for the next 5 years, till 2030. And in during this period, there are so many different important agendas to grow the business trade relationship or the economy between the countries. And in this part, of course, labor, I would say, plays a very important role. And this is the point raised, like, for the labor exchange. From last around some period of time, I also read and see news. There are so many issues about immigrants in Russia, especially from the neighboring countries. And the new initiative or the new thought about bringing the labor from India, I think so it will be little bit a challenging part, but at all everything is possible. Because of course everybody knows that the language, there is a big barrier of language, first of all. Because those labor people who are immigrants who are working from the neighboring countries, though they have like not big cultural barrier, language barrier, because they were like all the part of the old Soviet countries. And when we talk about,
They still remember something about Russia and the Russian, so it's
exactly,
not so difficult for them to integrate.
yes, exactly.
Not without challenges, but it's more easy for them to integrate.
and
That's correct.
and Indian labor, when they listen about Russia, they know the biggest barrier and challenge is language, culture, of course, different mentality, and different religion. But they know we are going to Russia, and Russia is the most oldest friend of our country, India. So every if you see the news, of course, labor people are happy to go to Russia. But when they come to Russia, for them, they need time to get adapted in this environment, to learn the knowledge. It takes time to get to know each other in terms of culture. They need
Hmm.
time, get themselves comfortable in this situation. And for that, uh, a lot of Russian organizations, they need special support in terms of those people who speak Indian languages, for example, English or Hindi. Mainly, I would say Hindi, because one another challenge is that in India, India is a very vast country, because it's different sphere you travel in India in different part of regions. Every in region they have their own local or regional language. This is a big challenge. So if person traveling from the maybe south part of India, they know maybe good English but Hindi not very good, because they have their own regional language. A person labor coming from the northern or maybe western part of India, maybe
Hmm.
they speak Hindi but English not very good. So in India we have two official languages. So out of these two official languages, these labor people, they at least know one language. So if they know English, they don't know Hindi, it's a big problem. So here, if the Russian organization hire some person who speak Hindi and English, but the Indian labor does not speak Hindi or English but some regional language, it's a barrier again, language barrier. But
Yeah.
I think it can be resolved, but it will take time. Of course it will take time. But for Russia, I think the good point is that for them to control these labor will be easier task, because these people who are coming, for them coming to Russia for the first time, to get interactive with a new culture, new sphere, because temperature is different, people is different, mentality is different, language is different. So maybe they will be
Working
all,
conditions are different also.
yes. So
Weather
this is the
conditions.
no, in India also, in northern part of India, we also have temperature like -25, -20 in Himalayas, and that
I know.
yes. But these labor people, they are mainly from the eastern part or the central and southern part or western part of India. I think so. Yes.
I
But
see.
in terms of security and safety, I think it will be good and better for Russia.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I would like to give you space to talk about your Center of Promotion of International Initiatives and BRICS. What initiatives you're working right now?
Presently, already we are working on the project for development of youth. When we talk about educational tourism, main thing for the young people, youth people, to get much more knowledge and real practical information about the culture of the BRICS countries.
Mhm.
These project that we are already doing, and already also we are organizing one of the business game called Model BRICS for the young people. Yes. So we last year also we organized, I think, three times in Russia in different cities, and around 32 countries young people participated in that.
Cool.
And yes, and this year one of the another active project that we are doing, it's a young diplomats club project, which is a big project in different part of Russia. So we are actively developing cooperation between the Yamal region of Russia and India, where the Young diplomats or the future diplomats will get to interact and know about Yamal and India. So the Russian young people, they will get to know about Indian culture, history, tradition, educational prospects. At the same time, the Indian school students from the Delhi capital city, they get to know about Russia overall and about Yamal and their indigenous tribe, Ninets tribe also. And for that, our group is specially also these young delegates. They are flying next week. 15 people who got selected from all over the Yamal and its region. They will be flying to India to Delhi to get interacted with the youth of India in Delhi to see how the education system works, and the Indian student will showcase them about really about our culture, Indian poetry, how to make handcrafts like with the sand and all. They make yoga, meditation, and of course the excursion in the historical and main part of Delhi also, and to visit to Taj Mahal, of course. Yes.
Well, you surprised me, not to tell less, to connect Yamal and
Yes,
India.
it was my dream.
The
You know how I
least,
say?
I don't know, region I would it would come to my head to be connected to India.
No.
I think for our viewers, we will when we will show our interview. I think we should include a map of Russia to show where is Yamal region is.
Yes, and I have a given the name.
North, it's an extreme north and north region.
You know, I have given the name Northern Lights connecting with the Southern Sun. You
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
you
you are a
see,
poet. You are a
and
poet.
and also if you see the map of the world, Indian map, Delhi, and if you go straight above, it's Yamal. So we have
Oh
a
my,
same time zone also, only 30 minutes difference.
really?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God. We are
So
we have so much in common.
because many people doesn't know about our civilization, uh,
Yeah.
Indian civilization, it's called as the oldest civilization in the world, and the oldest civilization, like the language from very like old period of time, it is called Sanskrit, which is called as mother of all languages. When
Mhm.
if you read the history of Russian language, so many part of Russian language was taken from Sanskrit language, and this was the reason that so many words with Russian language similar or connected with Sanskrit or Hindi language. And also if you see, there is a civilization called as Indo-Aryan civilization. It was a
Mm.
civilization like when in the old like period of centuries ago, Russian people from the near Black Sea, they start to go down in the southern Asia near India, and this is how the Indo-Aryan civilization was started. So this is like
Yes.
our roots are deeply connected.
May I ask you about that initiative of young diplomats? Is it open only for BRICS countries residents, or I don't know, all countries may participate?
Actually, this project is open to mainly our focus is BRICS country and friendly countries of BRICS. So
Ah,
actually, this delegation already last year traveled to China and Republic of Serbia, and this year also they traveled to Serbia again, and finally now they are going to India. So in BRICS country, Russia is going to India, China already they have traveled, remaining is Brazil and South Africa, and the main founding members, I would say.
mhm.
So uh, I hope that next year we should plan to travel to Africa, to South Africa. It's like my target, so to make it possible, because we have active partners in South Africa also. And 2026 next year, our target is to make cooperation with the South Africa. So this is how this is the real and practical way, apart from theoretical knowledge, that they should travel and get to know these countries deeper from their eyes, because already through online our meetings, conferences are going on between these young diplomats club exchange program. Very interesting point I did not told you. Just a month ago, we initiated a program for one and two class school student, only first and second class school student from Yamal and Delhi school, to get to know Russia and India each other. Only Perve Aftaram class, first and second class, small students like babies. So I was so happy and
Seven,
honored.
8 years, yeah. From the early ages, they start to know each other. That's great. That's
So,
great.
and I am so honored and so happy that finally our project has initiated started, and we already have 2 3 online interactions. through online platform between these classes, first and second class of Yamal region and India from Delhi. And now the group which is going, it's a senior ones who are like 10, 11, 12 class who will be studying international relations and want to focus in future to be a diplomats like this.
Very good initiative. Congratulations for the idea, for the realization. Of course, to know each other um, on the internet, reading, I don't know, articles. But when you go there, I
Yeah,
mean, to Russia, from Russia to India, from India to South Africa, from Brazil to, I don't know, Uganda,
yeah,
it's absolutely different experience. It's
yeah,
absolutely different experience.
yeah.
Thank you so much. May
Thank
I
you.
ask you the last question, and we close with that? Your personal take from
Yeah.
your imagine if you had a magic wand and you could launch one dream project during India's BRICS year, that is next year. Something cool. What it could be.
During BRICS presidency, I really want to launch a project, of course, for the youth people. I tell you why when I talk about young people, because I have been from the last 10 years. Now, according to Russian laws, I am not a youth because in Russia, considered 18 to 35 years. So it's like my last year. I have been from last 10 years. I have been in so many barrier as a youth. There are so many challenges and barrier to get opportunities, real and right, correct information. uh, okay, every young person, they have dreams, they have talent, they have knowledge, but they don't know or they don't get a real correct platform or information where they can showcase or make collaboration cooperation like that. And we already started from last past many years, slowly and slowly, such projects for the young people, so they also what I experienced and so many things I got in my life, I want to share with each and every person who is right now in their young age. So during the BRICS presidency project, I really wish to organize a youth big again delegation cross exchange program where not only Russia, I really wish the young people from China, South Africa, and Brazil and other new members or partner members also collaborate actively and participate. Because when we talk about youth, young people, they are the future of our countries. They are the real ambassadors who really develop maybe education, tourism, startup, or business in the future. Nobody knows. So we really want to support them to give them the best education and more practical knowledge. Because why I'm saying you practical knowledge, because from my first profession I'm an engineer and I believe in practical things. So it has to be done, because when you do practical things, it goes directly in the brain and it's sit down inside the brain, because theoretical knowledge doesn't help that much as compared to practical things. So second thing, the main, like next year as our BRICS presidency 2026 is under India, and I really hope that apart from all the initiative by the administration of both the countries or the government, there will be so many events, of course. I
Yeah.
wish in terms of people to people dialogue and cultural diplomacy, there has to be much more active connection and cooperation between the countries, because there are a lot of happening in the world, and we as a young people have a special stronghold who can change this world, make this world a better place to live, and spread much more peace and love, and make develop strong friendship between our the countries. So this is our strong role also, because now when we are giving passing on these knowledge, we are playing the role as a guru. Because in Indian, according to Indian, I would say, civilization or Indian tradition, guru is a person who is giving his own life teaching or his life knowledge to all the other people who are of the same age or maybe the younger age. So it's our main strong role, and we will try our level best to make it much more possible and successful, and develop strong, much more friendship and relationship between all the BRICS countries and member countries.
Let's believe in that and let's do it.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
Rishabh, thank you so much for your so how to say positive
No,
vibe,
thank you,
like they
thank you so much.
say, and congratulations for your initiative. And I hope to see you again on our channel to share what you succeeded, what your students succeeded during the work.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Me as a person is nothing. It is the all support of all our friends, colleagues, and especially I want to thanks to the, for example, projects with Yamal region. I want to thanks to the Department of or the Ministry of Youth Affairs of Yamal, or the administrator or governor of Yamal, and all those people who are taking such initiative and they are supporting such initiative for their youth. Secondly, from my heart and soul, I want to thanks to the great president of the Russian Federation, Mr. Vladimir Putin, because he always support young people. I remember when I traveled to Russia for the first time in 2017 during the participation in the World Youth Festival in Sochi, and I listened his speech, and he said, Russia, it is a country of opportunities and it is open to all. And after that, in reality, from last 10 years, I personally believe on those words, and I have seen a lot of opportunities is there. So especially thank him and all his whole team that they are opening always so many opportunities for the people from all over the globe, not only India or not only BRICS countries. And also I want to thanks to the deeply our administration and government in India, because they are also
Yes.
strongly helping us and the young people for startup and business program, and for in the sphere of development or popularization of our historical Indian culture with the world also. And this is how we, Russia and India together, playing very important role in BRICS group also, and also globally, and try to spread much more love and peace together to make this world a better place to live and showcase the real example of friendship. Yeah,
Thank you
thank you.
very much. Well, dear friends, now you see how it is working inside BRICS between countries, people to people diplomacy, people to people relations. So, the example of Russia and India, I think it's a good example. Subscribe to Think BRICS to know more about BRICS and the world. Thanks for watching.